with those lines. And there we go. So, auto width. 20.24 feet, is it really? 6 meters. Okay. Let's do show lines. Is that it? Gonna go line method, a heading. Okay. So that should mean I can't see any lines. Well, let's drive that. So, show lines is on. Maybe guidance steering off for a service. So, let's drive. Let's see what happens. Oh, there's lines. No, 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 no. That's not. No, no, that's all wrong. Okay. Set card. So that's going to do snap terrain angle off, enable guidance steering on. So 90 is that way. Is it? Okay. AB straight. A plus B. Set A. So I will put that way. And we will set B shortly. Let's be set. Enable guidance steering. We've still got the lines on. I don't know. So we'll. I see lines. So there's the orange lines, which look right. It looks like it's managed to get an offset, so yeah, we'll see what happens. So we drive down to the end. Where's the tweet that says we're at the end of the field? Oh, we managed to get lime in next door neighbour's field. Lift that. We'll turn this around. And we will get the steering back on. Lower the cultivator. And okay. That appears to be working. What I need to do next is figure out the shortcut keys, and I'll probably figure that out offline. But basically the idea would be get to the end of the field, we turn around, and then I want a button to re-engage guidance steering when we hit the other end of the field, or when we hit the track back. I'd also like to turn the offset off, I must admit, but again, we'll worry about that later. I'm not going to make that turn. So across the first one, across the second, and that is then I'm getting it. I will go back and do the rest of the field. Basically, because of the width of this piece of equipment and the capabilities of this tractor's turn radius, I cannot, it would take me a lot more area to do consecutive rows. So right now all I'm doing is I'll do every other row one way, and then I'll fill in the gaps going back the other way, and then we'll do the edges of the field. So again, that's the track I want. We'll turn guidance steering back on again. So there we are, all lined up. We pull forward within the capabilities of the tractor. We'll drop the cultivator, and then we go back up the field. Now, I've actually watched one of my local farmers do his that's part of what we're doing in this one is learning how GPS works. I also have vague plans for also going back and downloading Courseplay and learning how that works too. So, having done the whole field, we would now come back to here, and we would line the tractor up on this row, turn on guidance steering, and pull onto the field. We drop that down, and now we do every other row again, thus getting the whole field. So as I was saying, I've watched one of my local farmers, he was doing baling with a small tractor and round baler. He doesn't have a windrower, at least he hadn't used a windrower. So the only rows he had was what his single mower was churning out. So very narrow rows, about the width of the baler. And so all he ended up doing was he'd do every other row with bale every other row, and then come back and do every other row back the other way to complete the entire field. and it puts less strain on your hitch, and you're not having to, get to the end of the field forwards and backwards, get the piece of equipment lined up on the next row and then go again. And because you're using guidance steering in this case, I know that my rows are precise. So for example, I might say, well, too close to the fence to do a right hand turn, so I'm going to have to swing it all the way around this way. In order to line up on this row, which I now have done. So guidance steering back on and lower the cultivator, and we get that row done. But another advantage, okay, so the problem is that fence is running diagonal cut into the length of my field. And so each time I get back to the end of the field behind me, I don't have enough room to take a right hand turn to continue the next row. I have to pull a full 180. So, okay, let's not do that. We'll get to there, we'll lift that up. How's about we drive all the way over here? Say there. Turn the guidance steering back on again, and I'll lower the cultivator there. Now I know that that is exactly some rows width between what I've just done here and what I already did over there. So we'll get to there. We'll turn the cat tractor up the field, and probably not going to make this. Well, yes we will. But now I'm going to have to reverse all the way back very carefully. In order to get the cultivator lined up with the row that I want to make. I can turn on the guidance steering at this point. Whoops. No. Ah. Okay, the tractor will only go forwards. That might be an issue with the advanced driving, or the enhanced driving and the GPS. Once the guidance steering is engaged, it will only take me forward. That's kind of unfortunate. Oh, yeah. So that's a problem with guidance steering. Guidance steering does not allow for the enhanced driving. Enhanced driving, I've got a gear shift, basically forward and reverse. When I select forward and push the accelerator, my tractor goes forward. When I select reverse and push the accelerator, my tractor goes backwards. That's not a feature of FarmSim. FarmSim has a, if you press the accelerator you go forwards, and if you press the brake you go backwards, which I'm not a particular fan of. But that's going to be a thing if I'm using guidance steering. So my gear shift doesn't matter now. If I press the brake, it'll go backwards. If I press the accelerator, it'll go forwards. Poo. As I said, the advantage with guidance steering is I am doing the most efficient journey I can across this field. That's better. So for the most part, I'll do jobs like this probably with guidance steering, especially fertilizing when fields are fully grown, because it's just easier. It's the most efficient way of covering the entire field. Though that said, currently I'm equally comfortable doing this sort of job with, you know, by eye most of the time. I suppose I could look up the keyboard control for turn on the guidance steering, then I wouldn't have to keep opening that window. Tweet, tweet. Okay, so what is guidance steering controls? Follow me, autoloader. Don't know what autoloader is, but yeah. Steering guidance, left, Alt and X. Okay, we will try that then. And okay, the dots next to the red dots in the middle are white when you're not on guidance steering, they just turned green. And we appear to be following the line, so there we go. We learned something new. Left, Alt and X turns the guidance steering back on again. I still think I'm running with an offset there. It looks like the frame itself is over that dotted line on the left, and there's a big gap on the right, but since we're not alternating the offset, the entire field is being cultivated on an offset. We're going to need to go back down to the other end of the field again. In order to keep this going comfortably. So, that's the line we want. Alt-X. Okay, Alt-X is the button. Yay. And that should fill in the gap. Turn that off, we lift that up, and so again, in the middle we've got a dotted white line, a dotted yellow line. As soon as I press Alt-X, the white line turns green. So, the answer is to turn on GPS to just turn on the GPS system on a tractor, you press left Alt and C. That engages the system. Control S, left Control and S brings up the menu, and then once you've got everything set, you can just press the various Alt keys to set everything up and running properly. But basically the issue we have at the moment is I'm not reversing this back so that the entire rig is straight, so we're missing really narrow bits as we turn around. Tweet tweet. I am lifting the cultivator up each end. Now the angle of that fence is not severe enough, or that hedgerow is not severe enough that I can't turn the tractor around in that room. The angle of the fence is. So I'm thinking I'm still going to need to learn courseplay, but that will be more of a harvesting thing. For the most part, at least, my planting is working out okay. So we'll stick with that for now. So I'm still thinking we might need some obstacles in these hedgerows. I'm just not sure what obstacles to put there right now. Okay, this is definitely looking like we're getting down to lunchtime. Both in-game and real life. Off my field. Jeez. Oh, there go the planes again. Yeah, going to take me a little while to get used to those buttons, or I'll need to remap them to what I'm used to from FS19 GPS. We've now done the middle of the field. So we would now do the headlands. Okay, so we'll see, we'll turn off GPS as well. Good to know. We're going to have to come around here again to finish off cultivating this end of the field. So I have heard that Wopster does want to add more features to this GPS mod. I guess with the announcement that FS21's not happening this year at any time, and potentially we won't see Farm Sim update until potentially 21, fall, winter of 21, he might actually get the chance to get all of the features he wants into GPS finished. As I know, last week someone was saying, "Oh, he's got a lot of plans for this, but he might not have the time to do it." What with all the other mods he's working on. But with the extended life of this game now, we could end up with some really nice mods before it's all done with. That was something, with 17 there were a lot of early mods that really weren't that good because it was just people taking FS15 mods and bodging them over into 17. Even with FS19, someone attempted to do a Chellington, was it Chellington or Culbra Park Farm, without Oxygen David or Bullet Bill's permission, and it was a very bad port of those maps, or the map, whichever map it was. I didn't play it, I didn't bother with it, it wasn't authorized, and by somebody who's not Oxygen David or Bullet Bill, I wasn't going to rely on it being that good either. But towards the end of life cycle for 17, there were a lot of really nice mods that were released. As the modders learn how the game works and what they can do, still patches. Although, to be fair, I don't have to cultivate this because the seeder, as I said, already works if it's cultivated or ploughed. It's just realistically, you want to plough it, or you want to cultivate it before you stick seed in the ground. Okay, how's that looking? It's a little bit of white there. We'll get rid of that, I hope, maybe. Not so much. Oh, well, this big bit here. I can't remember if I mentioned last week, but we did hear from our adoption worker this week that the workers for the child we're looking to adopt are meeting this week. So we should, meeting within the next couple of weeks, so possibly early February we should be hearing what the next steps are going to be, if it's going to go ahead, which is nice, I think. She also said not to worry about getting our new home inspected, they'll take care of that when it needs to be done. So yay on that too. Okay. Indeed, yes. News is always good. Okay, we want to get you started. So oilseed radish is set. I'm probably going to try and keep to the same angle on this field, in spite of the fact it doesn't work too well. It's got the middle of the seeder up to that point. So, oilseed radish, we should not have any issues running out of seed at this point. I am gonna guess that when we come back to plant this field with whatever I decide to plant in it, I might need to get some more seed. Okay, jump out, leave you to it, and we're going to go back to the yard. As I said, it's now real world 1:30, so I'm going to look at calling the stream at this point. I will be back next week on Saturday with more from Oakfield Farm. Monday night is my other regular stream night. We will be probably more fertilization contracts on good time, and try and move that along to the first harvest. So we have got all our fields planted. Those fields are all looking really nice, and needs lime. Turn that back on, and that field's getting planted. So I would say the way that's going, there's no risk of me ending up trying to do anything else. The grass is planted. Obviously we don't have grass turned on. And I just drove a tractor into a tree. Yay. Let's try looking out the front again. Okay. So, as far as anything else is concerned, I will leave that tractor to finish off seeding that field. It is coming up to 1 PM game time, and we're kind of done. So, I may look at contracts on this map, see how they look. Dog, what are you doing? But we might explore that next week. And outside of that, I'm kind of good for this one. Spray the dog. Yay, get the dog. Woo! Yeah, you roll in the mud. Okay. So, for now, I am going to say thank you for watching and have a good weekend. But for now, I am out of here.